Why she was about the 40 years of Mills and Boon. And right, well, I'm going for some historical at the moment, and these are three kind of novellas, and based entitled Under a Western Sky, books by Elizabeth Lane, Kate Welsh, and Lisa Plumley. Okay, let me start with The Hand-Me-Down Bride. Three boys, three cowboys. Hey. Arabella Spencer's trip out west was supposed to end in marriage to her long-term sweetheart. The discovery that he'd made someone else's wife came round to Stuart McIntyre convince Arabella that Montana can still be her dream come true with a new groom for this hand-me-down bride. Okay, so she's gone out west, okay, with her grandmother's wedding dress, ready to marry Charles, who went out there to become like a gentleman farmer, okay, and she meets Stuart to meet her instead, and they go, and basically it rains, they get flooded, walks in to see Charles, sees that child, and she's looks at his new wife, okay, and thinks that, oh, how nice, you've got Sally. Sally's going to be like a servant for me and all that. No, Sally's pregnant, and basically he's married Sally, and it was a shotgun wedding. Stuart basically turned up with a gun and says you're going to marry her, okay, because it was lonely nights. This is the bit, okay. You wrote me a letter I never received. Is that what you could say for yourself? He signed. I suppose I do owe you an explanation. May I sit down? She glared at her ex-fiancé, now another woman's husband. No more surprises, Charles. Tell me the truth, the whole sordid story. After a longer moment, he cleared his throat. Sally kept house for her brother on the next spread north of here. When I moved to the ranch last summer, she came over with an apple pie, expected to find a family. Said she found me. She was shy at first, but over time we became friends. Friends. Amber cast him withering look. Did you tell her that you were engaged to be married? Of course I did. I even showed you her picture, but she was lonely and so was I. I was out on the range for days on end, so it wasn't hard to find time together. Most people just talked and went out for rides. Showed me how to fish. We behaved pretty well until the big January blizzard. She happened to be here till the storm blew in. One thing led to another. Oh, Charles. Oh, God. Why don't you tell me then? He shook his head. Afterwards, Sally was upset. She said she'd done a bad thing sitting there with a man who had already promised. When she left again, she told me she never wanted to see me again. What about you? Were you even sorry? Sorry, he made a little choke sound. I betrayed you, taken advantage of an innocent girl. I despised myself for what I did. But one thing I for sure, I didn't want to lose you. When I didn't hear from Sally, I sent you the tickets to put the finishing touches on the house. Everything was going as planned till 3 weeks ago. Go on. I heard a knock at the door. When I opened it, I was sitting on the porch crying her eyes out. A bear was there looking as mean as a grizzly bear. He brought along a preacher. He refused to marry her. If I refused to marry her, I'd no doubt the man would have killed me. And this is the man, okay, that Arabella's going to marry. But Arabella goes out, and she is obviously hurting over Charles. She's making plans to go back to her hometown and try to pick up her life. And Stuart's there. And she and Stuart meet, and of course they clash. They clash. Okay? Alright. But fingers crossed, she meets Sally, and Sally turned out to be really, really nice and truthful project about what happened. Of course. Because do you love Charles? This is Abel chatting to Sally. Abella was startled by my own question. She nodded, blinking back tears. If I didn't love him, she has written to Belly, this never would have happened. But it was yours. I never meant to take away from you. Oh, because she's such a nice girl. She's such. But the thing is, Sally automatically starts shipping her and her brother. Maybe there's still some good that can come of it. My brother Stuart is a good man. He's the biggest. He's kind and responsible and has his own ranch, bigger than all this one. Now that I married Charles, he's all alone. What if you and he? Abbas will cut her to the tray. You brother, she gasped. What makes you think I'd be interested in the man who'd forced you and Charles to marry? Oh, well, pair the spares. Right. But her and Charles, she goes out, and basically she hurts her ankle, and Stuart is there to help her. And this bit here, this is the one again. Stuart has his. Oh, they go on the horse. Okay, basically both of them receive like a sexual awakening. In the long trail through the weedy grass, she still looked beautiful. Her rustic curls tumbled over her shoulders, waking an urge to coat the wrinkles against her fingers. The way her damp blouse clung to every curve of her perfect little body was enough to make his mouth go dry. From under the brim of his hat, her eyes blazed green fire. Oh yeah, they both received a sexual awakening, and with her stuck there for a couple of days because she sprained her ankle. She sprained her ankle. This up the coast, and of course Stuart's educated. Okay, he's got loads of books. He's he's well read. Of course, he's like the perfect man. He works hard. He's a rancher, and of course there's a misunderstanding, and the misunderstanding is that because Stuart basically says about her and Charles, okay, listen, it's mad to my sister, you don't be here, okay, to kind of screw everything up. And she doesn't. And there's a bit, okay, where they get in bed together because it's a lightning storm when she's scared, and they don't have sex, which I thought was rare for Mills and Boon, but they touch each other, okay? But, which, weirdly enough, is kind of very respectful for Mills and Boon, because in his head, he's like, she's not mine, I can't do anything. But they still indulge some heavy petting foreplay, okay? Which, hey, respect actually for Mills and Boon, that's quite unusual, okay? So, but of course there's a misunderstanding. He thinks that she's getting back with Charles, who she doesn't love anymore, and this bit here, okay? And of course Stuart writes a note, okay? A hand wiped away a furious tear. I was spending the night in his bed. This was the last thing she expected. She thought that Stuart liked her, maybe even loved her. She drifted off to sleep with happy dreams dancing in her head. Living here on the ranch with him, sharing his everyday life, waiting on the porch to welcome him at the end of every day, each day. So romantic fool she was. Okay, but she goes to Charles and basically says, take care of your wife, she's better than what you've done to her, done to us. Okay, and this bit here, okay, it's where the big misunderstanding happens, okay, because he sees them hugging and thinks that it's all over, okay. Grow up, Charles, she heard the words at him. You're married to a wonderful woman, and she's about to make you a father. Be a man, for heaven's sake. Give her the loyalty and consideration she deserves. You sound looking stupid. I do love Sally, She's 10 times better than I deserve. But I love you too. I always love you. Why I love you too? I don't love you. She watched his face go pale. If you must know, I'm in love with someone else. I'm in love with Stuart. With Stuart, they're big, overgrown. She gets head in disbelief. And does Stuart feel the same about you? I don't know. If I only know that if he'd asked me to marry him, I'd marry him at this minute. Oh yeah. And of course, Stuart sees no big argument, it all comes tumbling out. And in fact, okay, she's been with Charles for a couple of years before he went to kind of find his fortune. She's been with Stuart for a couple of days, but he's the one. And of course, they stay together, and she wears that wedding dress. And it's a brief novella, it's like 100 pages, but weirdly enough, I actually enjoyed it. Abed takes no crap from anyone. She's very, very resourceful. She's very, very forward-minded in a way. So I didn't hate it. There's a 100-page Mills and Boon novella by Elizabeth Flame. So, I didn't hate it. The Hand-Me-Down Bride, I didn't hate it. Okay, so, second review is the epilogue, okay? They're married, okay? And it's going to be The Bride of War Britches by Kate Welsh. Okay, second review coming up.